Hey Samuel, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Um, so I don't know if you know this, but PFF has you rated as the number two cornerback in the NFL so far this season with a coverage rating of 85.1. And that begs the question, who outside of the Indianapolis Colts has been the toughest receiver that you've had to cover so far this year and why?
Um, mm, I don't know. I feel like kind of just game planning for Tyreek was kind of different just because he get the ball in so many different ways. It's not just strictly just straight up line up against him and play ball. You can give it to him out the backfield, jet sweep. He can line up and get the ball. So I feel like that kind of game plan was kind of like different.
Thomas?
What's up, Sam? I got two questions for you. First, D'Amico Ryans was your first defensive coordinator in your rookie season in San Francisco. What were some of the most memorable ways that he was able to get the best player out of you?
Just really just pushing me every day to just strain and play hard and work hard. As long as you did that and did that for D'Amico, he didn't really like trip about a lot of stuff, but you had to give maximum effort and I had to go hard every single play, every single day and be consistent with it. So he kind of helped instill that in me. Um and that's why I kind of like don't really take plays off and you don't really see a lot of laziness in me because that was kind of instilled in me from the first day I walked in the NFL.
And can you describe how easy or difficult it was for you to move to Indy and have to trust new teammates basically on the fly, both on and off the field?
I mean, I played ball my whole life, so I ain't never really just always played for one team. So uh getting to know new people is kind of like it wasn't a different situation that I haven't been through before. So just getting to know the guys off the field and that helped build the relationship on the field. That was kind of the easy part, and then even with the game plan and the scheme, it was similar to what we ran in San Fran. So just once I start learning the verbiage and how they talked over here and start speaking the same language, it became way easier. It took me like a couple weeks to really get it down pat.
Marcus?
Hey, just to piggyback off of that, since you came to Indy, a lot of fans have been raving about your production on the field and how good you've been playing. Have you noticed any of that, or have you like seen any of the fans, just praising your gameplay or having your support?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I done been to Chipotle before and somebody to notice me and I didn't even know I was really getting noticed that much out here. And then obviously you got my friends and family that really keep up with the media and stuff like that and make sense stuff to me. And be like, oh, people talking about you, they got this article and stuff on you and bring it to my attention. But I don't really like pay attention to that on my own. I just try to work and just try to, make Sundays look great so that people can talk, say good things about me.
Do a few more here. Destin?
So I mean, you're obviously in a very different situation than you probably imagined yourself in when you're playing in preseason with the Niners this year. Not only have you moved on with the Colts, which is a surprise via the waiver wire, you've already played more defensive snaps than you've ever played in your career in a season. So really just like what is in your mindset with having to switch so quickly to Indy from San Francisco, but also just seeing your role drastically change so fast?
Uh, this was something that I all them worked on all off season to get to this point. Thinking it was gonna be with San Fran, but obviously it didn't go that way. So I kind of already been preparing myself for this opportunity and this moment, and then just seeing it come to light. It's just like now I'm at the point to just not let it go and just keep taking advantage of every op that keep coming, especially with going through adversity in my career already. I feel like that just kept that chip on my shoulder and just pushed me and put fire in me to just keep going harder every day. And hopefully at the end of the season I could continue to say that I had a great season and have great years coming up.
We have two more here. Lawrence?
Hey Samuel, my question for you is, you've been here for a little while, and I'm just curious, either team, whether it's San Francisco or Indy, who's the guy since you've been in the pros that has really had the biggest effect on you, not just, how you play on the field, but in general, dealing with NFL life and notoriety and things of that nature?
Uh, Man, because it's really multiple people that really helped me out. The most it's kind of hard. It's different. It's different. It was people helping me out in different ways. Like you got the Amador Lenore that that's really was like I guess you could say as my best friend over there on the Niners. Him and Ambry Thomas. So just being with them every day, and we done went through the same stuff from rookie year to now, and face like kind of like the similar adversity of trying to get on the field, uh, and being with them every day. They help instill just like keep like that dog mentality mindset, working out together, getting each other better on and off the field, and that camaraderie of just getting to know different type of people. And then you got Fred Warner that pushed me, especially this off season. I was working out with him right after the season. We took a couple weeks off, and then went back to the 49ers facility and was working out with him that first half all the way up until OTAs, and just seeing how he worked, how he carried himself as a professional, and kind of mirroring him, that really helped me also, and just watching how he go about his everyday life at an elite level. So watching that and being mirroring that helped me. And then you got Charvarius Ward, that second half of this offseason that I was really working out with every day down in Texas and working on my game, and him just taking the time and bringing me along to let me see how he worked and different techniques, learning different techniques at DB and how he think at DB, and introducing me to his trainer that helped me a lot with my game. um, it's just them was like the four main people that kind of like helped me get to this point. I mean, then you got my family and stuff that just keep me uplifted mentally. But in terms of my game, them was the four main people.
We'll go last one here, Dustin.
So you spoke a little bit about some of those players that have really impacted you and coaches that have impacted you back in San Francisco. What has it been like having like a veteran like Kenny Moore, who not only has played at a high level but knows the area of Indy so well, with his career really taking shape here? Like, what has it been like being able to lean on Kenny on and off the field?
Oh man, it's been great. Just especially, just getting to know the system and how the philosophy and everything is here. Me and Kenny, we talk every day on and off the field. So, uh, and that was like my draft comparison. So I was kind of hyped to be around him every day, and obviously he got a lot of production on the ball and even at nickel in terms of physicality. So just talking ball with him, watching film with him every week, and just seeing how he think about the game, and then he also helped me learn the philosophy of this defense and how they go about things. He helped me a lot for sure. And then you got JB, Julian Blackman, he's so smart. He know a lot of stuff that's coming. And he know the defense, the ins and outs of the defense. So both of them really the main two that helped me, get comfortable into this defense and settle in here.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All righty. We'll get started here with Destin Adams.
Hey, Alec, thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
So early in your career, Alec, you had a fair share of critics via not jumping right on the field and having instant gratification when it comes to production. A couple young players on the team are kind of going through that now with Anthony Richardson and your fellow receiver and Adonai Mitchell. What advice, I guess, can you give those guys from early in your career and now seeing everything kind of play out this season?
Yeah, the biggest thing, I mean, number one is just not to listen to anything anyone says online, because it's just they don't see the full picture. They don't really get to, they're not in the building every day, seeing the work being put in, seeing the things. It's such a football is such a complicated sport. It takes so many things to go right, just especially for like a receiver specifically. Think about it as the play call. There's the protection. There's the quarterback. So it's a lot of things kind of that go into it. So and when your sample size is so small earlier in your career, like you see some guys like will play really well their rookie year and then maybe kind of fade off, and then other guys might not be as well and then play well. So it's then that sample size is small. It's kind of hard to judge a player, I'd say.
Lawrence Owen.
Hey, Alec, building off that a little bit, actually, we all know that there's a lot of stuff that a wide receiver does, as you said, that it's not even doesn't show up on stat lines. For instance, the run blocking and stuff that has been brought up in the past recently. But there's something else that I've noticed with you specifically. Earlier this year, you have been getting a lot more targets downfield and you're gaining the respect of defenses, which allows you, even if you're not getting the targets, to be able to help clear safeties out from underneath, like what happened a couple weeks ago when Downs ran that out and up and you ran a post, you cleared that safety, allowed Downs to get that touchdown.
Mm.
Is that something that is discussed a lot with you guys in the wide receiver room about, running your routes at 100% all the time and being able to help your other guys out, even though you're not getting the targets at that time?
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, a lot of times, generally, my routes are the deepest route out there, and a lot of times concepts are, deep and intermediate and in a short route, and usually typically it's a lot of times the tight end or the running back out there in the flat, kind of on the short route, and then it's usually the receivers working more downfield. And so for me, when I'm going downfield, especially early in the season, we hit a couple of those big shots, big plays. And then defenses will adjust. They're going to be softer to that. They're going to make sure they keep it in front. That creates a lot more space between that, in that kind of intermediate zone. And then you can still hit those big, 20 to 40-yard gains there. You catch it on like a crossing route or something like that, and then you're able to run for a little bit. So,
Thomas.
Yes, Alec, I got two questions for you. Was there a moment when it began to click for you that was your role on the team, that you would be able to confidently make those catches in traffic downfield?
No, I mean honestly, for myself, I've always known that I could do that. Like if you go back and look at what I did in college, it was a ton of that. So that's kind of always been my mentality. I've kind of always been banging the table saying, hey, like just give me a chance, throw downfield. Like even if there's like it doesn't have to be open, it doesn't have to be wide open. If it's one-on-one, like I can go make the play, So it just takes building that trust in the quarterbacks, the coaches, just to understand, like this is not just like a play where a lot of things can go wrong. I always pride myself in either making the play, getting a pass interference, or having it be an incompletion. I try not to ever let him intercept the ball because that'll stop the coach from calling it or the quarterback from throwing it.
And lastly, is there anything that helps you stay locked in and ready to make that explosive play downfield when you may just get 3 or 4 targets a game?
I mean, I think I'm kind of used to. I'm used to it. I did a lot of that kind of all my life. I've been in offenses where we didn't throw the ball a whole lot, and I was always there to make an explosive play. So, to me, it's not like, oh man, I need to. I obviously like the ball thrown to me as much as possible, but I've kind of been used to not getting a ton of targets all my life. So, it's just football for me. I've been on a lot of teams that won a lot of games, and usually, it was kind of like a ground and pound type team with just play action over the top. So,
Christopher Jackson.
Hey, Alec, thank you for your time. Do appreciate you coming out.
thank you.
Two questions. In year 3, what's really been the catalyst to you consistently kind of getting off to a hot start, whether it's, being able to make plays against guys like L'Jarius Sneed, or even really just being able to just get behind the defense and do what you did in that case?
Yeah. So just like what has been
Yeah,
like.
like what and I'm gonna say, to kind of expand on that, it's just like, walk us through that mentality this year, because you seem much more locked in this year. And I mean, it seems like everything's just kind of been clicking. So just walk us through like that mentality going into this year, where I
Yeah.
think the wide receiver room is probably the most talented that it's been, I'm gonna say maybe in over a decade or so.
Yeah. I just think, I always talked about in college, my coach had a saying, he said, say high tides raise all ships. And it's just like we had a really good roster at Cincinnati, a lot of depth, a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And that was something that we kind of took pride in, because he was always pushing the younger guys. Like, even though, maybe you have Sauce Gardner and Kobe Bryant, two basically all American corners starting out there, like, you're that younger cornerback. Like, he was pushing them to work hard, continue getting better, and kind of just like raise the talent level of everyone. Because then it's gonna push Sauce and Kobe they're gonna see that, feel that coming, and they say, oh, I got to be better because I got this guy behind me who can plug in and play whenever. So, um, that's kind of the mentality. I felt that a lot this year. And yeah, so it's been good. I think it's just something I've been comfortable in. That's kind of how I've played football, before the NFL. So, and that's kind of how it is in the NFL across the board. Think about it. It's all professionals at this point, so it's a bunch of good players.
Yeah,
Do a few
absolutely.
more here. Marcus?
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned earlier about the jump ball catches and things of success. Of course, you got a few years in now. Do you feel like the game has slowed down for you at this point or anything? Or like,
Yeah, no, it definitely has. You see a lot of the same looks. It's a copycat league. A lot of teams run a lot of the same stuff, so, and then you see the same teams a lot, like especially the divisional teams, you see the same players. So you kind of, you're like, oh, okay, I know what type of player this guy is, what type of defense this team runs. So it kind of I think makes things a little bit simpler.
I'll do two more here. Lawrence?
Okay. So my question is, you haven't really had a lot of targets before this year, whether that's play design or quarterbacks not looking downfield or whatnot. But it seemed like a lot of people thought that once Anthony Richardson got healthy and was able to play, and then we signed a backup that is not afraid to throw it downfield as well. Was you expecting a lot more targets towards you down the field this past offseason, as much or as many as what you've gotten so far,
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
saw that?
yeah. No, and just especially too, just big emphasis in our offseason here. The coaches kind of came back. We after OTAs, they probably do a study on our last season and how we did. And a big thing they had said for us is that we just needed to be more explosive. I think especially in the passing game. I think we wanted to have more explosive plays, like over 20+ yard passing plays. I think we were pretty low in the NFL on that. Just it was kind of how our offense ran last year. So it was a huge emphasis on just kind of big explosive plays, whether that's like deep ball thrown on the field or like a crossing route, but just anything that's kind of thrown on the field where you can get like 20+ yards. So I knew for me that was kind of music to my ears, because that's my game right there.
We'll go last one here, Destin.
So Alec, obviously we don't know yet the status of Jonathan Taylor potentially playing this week, but getting him back on the practice field, and the possibility of him being back on the field in the coming weeks. As a receiver, as someone who relies on the passing game for his production, can you talk a little bit about what it would be like to get a guy like Taylor back on the field and get that dynamic runner back there, and how that can open things up for you downfield?
Yeah, no, it's huge. He's a super talented player, a guy that's played a lot of great football for the Indianapolis Colts. So just having him back in the offense just adds a whole new dynamic. He's a guy we can just rely on to not only get the tough yards, but break out a huge 80-yard run. So it'll be great to have JT back out there. Hopefully soon.
Thanks for your time, Alec.
I think.
Thank
Thank
y'all.
you,
Have a
Alec.
great day.